Hey guys, it's Sunday, July 5th, 2026. I'm in the kitchen, just about to leave to go see Suzy. It's about 12:38 in the afternoon. This morning I went with Pietro. Pardon my hand here. I'm gonna just talk to you for a second. This morning I went with my neighbor Pietro to Costco. He has a Costco membership. So I was able to take advantage of some of the Costco stuff and came back with a bunch of stuff, and he did something very kind and generous and unexpected, which I won't get into right now. But anyway, I've had conversations and texts and such with people. Been very supportive, giving solid advice based on experience with things like, the adult diapers and what to look for. Part of the goal was to get some diapers at Costco, and unfortunately, all they have are what are known as briefs, which is what you pull up. You put one leg in each leg hole and pull them up, just like a pair of briefs. And I wanted to get diapers, which diapers, you're more able to get more of a custom fit. And my friend Lori Brown was counseling me that with the briefs you have a greater chance of leakage if there's not a really great fit. So I wanted the diapers for several reasons. That was one of them, getting a better fit. I wasn't thinking about leakage. So yesterday Suzy was in bed when I arrived. She was dressed, which was a plus. She's still not willing to get into her wheelchair. I ordered a bunch of stuff online a couple days ago, and the wheelchair was supposed to come today. I'm looking at the Amazon status in terms of delivery today, and it's saying that the delivery date is being pushed back to the 8th of July, and Suzy's going to be discharged on Tuesday. That's provided I have a bed. So we're coming down to crunch time, and we're hitting some bumps in the road, so we'll see if the hospital will work with me on that or what I need to do. So anyway, I think I mentioned yesterday, I told Pietro I was making the pizza dough, and I provide the sauce, and I had some Trader Joe's pizza sauce, which has a little bit of garlic and some oregano and black pepper and olive oil. And Pietro's telling me this just use regular tomato sauce. And so I want to take advantage of his expertise. I don't think he'd consider he's an expert in making pizzas, but he sure has a lot more of a feel for the real deal than I do. So I've invited him over for dinner tonight, and we're gonna make pizzas. He bought the toppings, and we're gonna see what happens. I might do a little video of our pizza creations. We'll see. So anyway, back to Suzy. I told the nursing staff yesterday when I came in that I wanted to help with a shower, and she only gets showered a couple times a week, so I wasn't sure when that was happening. They checked, and they said it's happening today. I asked when, and this was like, I don't know, 2 o'clock-ish, and I think they do a shift change around 3 o'clock. And they said, it's happening today, but on the next shift. And I said, do you have any idea when on the next shift? And they said, often they'll do it like after dinner and before bed, so 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock-ish. And I was kind of hoping that it would be earlier, because, I've got a ton of stuff to do. It just feels like the to-do list is getting chipped away, but there's still a lot on it. And So anyway, they have the shift change, and in comes the nurse's aide. He's a young guy, I'm going to guess mid-20s. His name is Matt. He comes in full of energy, and you can just tell the guy wants to be there. He's not going through the motions. He's committed. And so I said, hey Matt, I understand it's Suzy's day to get showered. I'm just wondering if it's possible for us to do it earlier on your shift than later. And he says, sure. I've got a few things to do right at the beginning of my shift. I'll come back and we'll do her first thing. And I was so appreciative of that. He's such a good guy and so attentive to Suzy. And we had a little complications. One was she started to poop once we got her in the shower wheelchair. Wasn't in the shower yet, but in the wheelchair. Which was really good for me to see for a couple of reasons. One, I've been wanting her to have regular bowel movements, so whenever and wherever, I guess you got to welcome it. And then the other thing was, I'm realizing that in the hospital they have, like, I don't know if they're ceramic, but they're non-porous floors. They're made for things to be spilled on them and for them to be cleaned up. And I was thinking, okay, we have carpeting in our bedroom, and if this was happening in the bedroom, this would not be a good thing. Because I don't want to be cleaning the carpet every day, and there's no way I'm going to get that carpet stellar clean if there's some kind of an accident on a regular basis. So it's making me think that somehow we need to get like hardwood, fake hardwood, engineered hardwood in there at some point. The logistics of it, it'd be nice for somebody in the medical team that knows about these things. They could have just said, hey, what's the surface of the floor in your bedroom? It's a minor thing. It doesn't really relate to them, but it relates to me 100%. So that's kind of a frustrating thing. I just don't want to get home and have a bunch of stuff that I need to attend to that I could have attended to prior to bringing Suzy home. Let's see, what else? She's eating well. She's eating, high percentage, 80-90% or more of her food. She's drinking the prune juice, and I guess the prune juice is working. I think they are still giving her stool softener, and at Costco they have things like that. I just prefer to try to manage this through diet, because I strongly believe, even though she's not moving much, if you are having a quality amount of fiber plus the hydration, I think that makes stuff flow. But we'll see. Gotta kind of monitor that and make sure it doesn't become a problem. If it is, I'll probably have to get something. I don't know if it would be prescription or over the counter. I'm not sure if she's taking any of her blood pressure or cholesterol meds. My feeling is no, but I don't know that. The nurse asked her yesterday about giving her shot for blood thinner, and Suzy wasn't really, affirming that she was willing to do that. And I saw them do it the other day. They tried a couple times. So I think that's kind of the nature of the beast, is you have to be persistent with her, but, respectful, and talk about the benefit of her doing it. And the benefit is it reduces the probability of a second stroke and winding up back in the hospital, which I have told her. I said, listen, there are things that you need to do, such as, keeping you from having bed sores, and that requires certain things in terms of turning you and getting into different positions, like in the wheelchair, which she's not doing, as I mentioned. So, anyway, so yesterday I would say for the most part I put a plus on the calendar for what's going on, and put a plus on the previous day. So we have a 2-day trend going here. I hope it continues. And on Saturday, as I think I mentioned, she had several therapy sessions. She only turned down one, which required for her to be in the wheelchair. So anyway, we're making progress. Last night I put in a couple more shelves and closets to create more space. I've got bunches of wipes and disinfectant sprays and diaper rash ointments and things that I hope that I've got all the bases covered. We're just going to have to see how it unfolds. And I did use AI to ask, I basically said what her situation is and what kind of products would I need for them to make product recommendations. And then I went and asked it specifically for Costco. So it gave me kind of a list of Costco items, and I bought probably, I'd say about 60% of what they recommended. I mean, some of them were redundant, 2 items that handled the same issue, addressed the same issue. We're getting into the hospital complex here, and I realized yesterday I said hotel complex, so I meant hospital, but that's just me thinking one thing and saying another. My friend Lori Brown, who's married to Jerry, who's a dear friend, I spoke with him this morning, and Lori, counseled me on the diapers or briefs, and she also emphasized the importance of getting somebody in at least once a week to help. She's had some health, she's had some operations and stuff where she needed after operation post-surgical care, and her husband Jerry hired people to care for Lori, and that worked out really well for him. So she emphasized how important this is for me, because I need to be able to have a break, because being 24/7 can be very taxing. She also counseled me on how many diapers, they tell you to have like a 30-day supply or 60-day supply or whatever. Yeah, but how many are you using per day? And she says, it's conceivable you could use up to 5 a day, which kind of got my attention. I'm thinking, originally, they were telling me here in the hospital that they change diapers on every shift change, so that's at least 3. And then if something is done, pooing or peeing, then you got a change then. And I don't know if I mentioned this before, but Suzy was willing to get the Foley catheter, which means that she doesn't need to be catheterized every 6 to 8 hours, and it goes to a bag that you can drain. And again, I helped in the draining, I think it was yesterday. And her nurse's aide is putting a little towel down on the floor when she's doing this, so if any urine drips, and I'm thinking carpet, and it's just not good to have the carpet, I'm thinking, so I need to address that. Hopefully the landlord's willing to work with me on that, because I got a ton of expenses, and I'm trying to minimize everything that I can, still be effective, but minimize it. So anyway, that's it for today. It's real quick. Love you guys. Appreciate all the comments, text support. It really means a lot. So peace, or peace, whichever way you do peace. We'll see you later.